All right, so what do we have going on here?
We got all kinds of stuff going on here. We have first aid kits galore.
Yes, these are some of these. This is your big one, right? We're going to go through some of the first aid supplies you need, but some of these are the ones we're giving away in the contest, right?
Yes.
That is a couple of my bug out bag first aid kits. And you've got a couple of that you made and one that's pre-made, right?
This one is pre-made, yes, but
I'm going to go through that.
Yeah, I'm going to doctor it up.
And then we've got the ruggedized dry bag that you're going to load up with some stuff too, right?
Yes.
And these are made by Expedition Research, and they're really cool bags.
They're awesome.
Not necessarily made for first aid kits, but you could take all your first aid stuff out of there, put it in there, do what you want with it. It's yours after you win it.
Yeah.
Usually the contests are for all of the members, like the podcast listeners, the YouTube subscribers, the people who read Survivalist Prepper, but we haven't done a contest exclusively for the members of the Academy, so that's what this contest is. The next contest will be for everybody, but if you're not a member of the Academy, you can join at survivalistprepper.net/academy. So now I'll just be here to kind of hold stuff or do whatever, but this is all you now, so kind of explain, some of the stuff you have in your kit, some of the whatever you're going to explain, basically.
So I think it's really important, first aid kits, no matter what the size, I think they're very, very important. It doesn't matter if you have something like this, or even this. I think just having the kit is the most important thing, and then you can just add to it.
With the right stuff.
With the right stuff. Well, any kit is good, as long as you have something, because then you're at least putting an effort into it. But then the most important thing after that is you got to know how to use the stuff that's inside of it. Because if you just have this in your car, but you don't know what's in it, so if an emergency happens and that's the first time you open the kit, you're kind of
going to be like, here, I have this.
I have this kit. Go ahead, take care of things. But, so, let's go ahead and get started on some of the different kits. The most important thing I think that everyone should have regardless is you need a headlamp. This is the most important thing ever. Because...
And you should probably have a few of those. Yeah, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
You should probably have a few of these for your first aid kits just in general, because they are just super handy for just about anything you're doing.
Yeah, because then you got your hands free and you can work on whatever you need to work on with both of your hands instead of just one. Mm-hmm. So that's really important. Another thing that's important is a basic first aid book. And you should probably read it. It's got a lot of information in it.
It's good to just have as a reference.
Yeah, so... But again, you got to use it. You got to know what's inside of it before you actually have to use it in an emergency. So, kind of a little bit of homework, but it's really nice. You can buy these online. I think a lot of places give them away for free. You can find them. So.
Or if you buy one of the kits or something, or a bag, you might have it with it. You never know.
So this is a nice, simple, basic first aid kit. This is, I think, an awesome first aid kit because I helped to create it.
Yeah, we put that together. Yep.
Can I open
And that's got...
No.
You can, but I wouldn't take everything out because it'll get all over the place. But it's got the waterproof pouch, which is good for like 500 feet underwater. I don't know why you'd ever need to go that far. But we put this together and tried to address a lot of the basic needs. So it's not a trauma kit or anything, but it's got the gauze, the ACE, the sanitizer, iodine swab sticks, Band-Aids, Meta Honey, which is really good stuff. That is probably the most expensive thing in this kit. And the nitro gloves, the scissors, all of that different stuff. I mean, you can open it if you want. No. But there's a whole bunch of stuff in that little package.
It's completely packed, and then you've also got on here, you've got like...
Even the back has got instructions.
Yeah, on what's in it and how to use it. So that's really, really nice. That's an awesome thing to have. If you don't have a first aid kit, something like this is really great to have and keep in your bug out bag.
And we sell those at the SHTF shop, which is our store, and we're going to be giving away 2 of those in the contest.
Woo! We like prizes.
I love giving stuff away, yeah.
I know.
And then you put a lot of work into putting these other ones together. So this is one you're giving away too, right?
This is one that we're giving away, and this is one I actually put together. So the bag I got separate. And then, so you can buy empty kits. You can use anything. You can use a backpack. It doesn't matter, just as long as you...
And this is one you put together by yourself, right?
Yes, this is one I put together. So it's got a lot of basic stuff in it. Band-Aids, alcohol swabs, Zero-form gauze, which is good if you have a wound. I don't really like Telfa pads, so this works good. It's also non-stick, but it's breathable. and it will protect a wound or a cut. You've got to have hand sanitizer. Mastazole with steri strips, so if you did have a really, really deep cut and it kept bleeding, you put some Mastazole on the sides, put the steri strips across the cut, that'll bring the edges together.
And Mastazole's like glue, right?
Mastazole is like glue, yes. And this is really cool addition that is actually in my kits now.
Wound seal.
Wound seal. So this, if you like seal-locks and quick clot, stuff like that, this is something that I would actually use.
Wouldn't you need a lot more than that though for a large wound?
For a humongous wound, like a bullet wound?
Probably get a few of those. And
yeah, I think I would probably have like a chest seal or something also, or use one of the Israeli tourniquet, Israeli bandages.
Something that size might be the good, you hear about people using super glue.
Yeah, this is an excellent alternative to using super glue. You can use super glue, but I can tell you from experience it burns.
Yeah.
So, this is actually, I put in
Pretty
this
neat,
kit. Yeah. Of course, you gotta have hand sanitizer. That's super, super important. And, I mean, this is so neat. It's got all these little pockets. And this has a lot of stuff in it. We have ace wraps. We have the first aid book. Iodine wipes. Just make sure if you do use iodine wipes, this is an antibacterial solution. If somebody's allergic to shellfish, you can't use iodine wipes on them because they could have an allergic reaction.
Good to know.
A really nice little suture kit. This is a sterile kit. It actually has 4x4 gauze in it, an iodine swab, and also an alcohol swab. But it's a longer pair of suture scissors and also a really nice pair of forceps. Those work great.
Not necessarily for doing sutures, but
No.
it can be used with the scissors and tweezers can be used in for a bunch of different things.
Yeah, and it's hard to show, but these scissors actually have like a hook on the end, so I mean you could use it as a seam ripper to cut something out. The tweezers are just like it's probably really, really hard to see, but they're pointed. So these work wonderful. So if you need tweezers, which you will in your first aid kit, good to have. 2x2 gauze, steri strips. You got to have steri strips, especially.
It's like the poor man's stitches.
They are the poor man's stitches. If you don't know what you're doing with suturing, steri strips is going to be your best friend.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing. Actually, probably better than suturing, because if you don't know what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be suturing or stitching a wound shut. And I actually spoke with one of the doctors that I work for, and he said the only time he would ever suture a wound, and he was in the Army too, but the only time he would ever suture a wound is if it was a surgically created wound. So I think if a surgeon is going to say that, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
4x4 AMD foam dressing. This is antibacterial, antimicrobial. Got your ace wraps. Got some little Curity non-adherent dressing, which has mineral oil on it, so you can put it on a wound and it will not stick.
What kind of wound would those be for?
A wet wound.
Aren't all wounds basically wet?
Not always. Actually, some wounds are actually dry. So that's important to have. Like if you
after you bled out, they're dry.
Yeah, after you bled out, they're dry. But let's say that you're going to put a pressure dressing on someone. You're going to put a tourniquet or something on it. And you got a big. Let me see your hand. You got a big wound right here, so you could take that non-adherent dressing, stick it on there, and then use the ace wrap to create a tourniquet. Make sure you want to put your tourniquet or your compression wrap up higher than where the wound actually is, because if you put the pressure down here and the wound is here, it's not going to stop. Yeah. And then also put your hand up. So if your cut is here, elevate it, get it higher than your heart, and that will help decrease the bleeding. So that's that side. Then on this side has another zippered pouch, which is breathable too, and you can see everything that's in it. Coban or vet wrap, which works good for compression wraps or tourniquets if you need to in a pinch. Of course,
Silvazorb.
You gotta have Silvazorb gel. That is included.
What kind of first
kit.
aid kit would it be if Lisa didn't put Silvazorb in?
Exactly. Different types of tape. This is called elasto tape. So this actually has some stretch to it too.
Is that your new favorite tape you're talking about on the podcast? This is my new favorite tape.
Yep, I love this stuff. A big roll of gauze. This is Kerlex gauze. This is, I think it's 3 or 4 yards. 4.1 yards. And this will actually add compression too, and it's actually very absorbent. It's called bulky gauze, so it will absorb a lot of fluid. If you have a foot wound with pus coming out of it and huge amounts of drainage, which does happen. This will collect all that drainage. Nitrile gloves, which are very important.
Nitrile, not
Nitrile, not vinyl or latex.
Latex, yeah.
Because so many people have latex allergies. Everything in this kit, and actually in all of our kits, is latex free, which is really important because there are a lot of people that have latex allergies. Something really fun, a mask to protect yourself, just a basic surgical mask, and a really cute Mickey Mouse mask. Gotta have a Mickey Mouse. I wonder, no?
No. You try one of the kids, not me though. I guess if I had to.
If you had to. Here's a big pair of bandage scissors. A lot of people like these. These are EMT shears. I actually prefer the stainless steel Lister style bandage scissors. These work good too. They have the part on the bottom, so you can actually, let me see your hand again. You're my demonstrator. But if he had a cast on or something, I can actually run this up. I don't have to see what I'm doing. I'm not going to cut him.
You don't have to worry about chopping in my arm.
Yeah, so some type of bandage scissor is really good for your first aid kit, not just regular scissors, because you could end up cutting someone. I would have to try really hard to cut you with these. It would be almost impossible, unless I went like
I think you could probably, I would have to make you very angry, but I think you could probably figure out a way.
And then also an instant cold pack. Mm-hmm. These are nice to have because sprains, bruises, bumps, things like that. Because if something can happen, it will. That's my motto, I guess. So it's better to be prepared for it. And it's better to have this stuff and never need to use it than to not have it and wish that you had it and say, oh, I wish I would have had that bug out bag first aid kit or that really cool first aid kit that Lisa put together. Oh, I wish I would have entered the contest. But there's so many different pockets on this. It's wonderful.
This first aid kit, right, is going to be basically the same thing as that, right?
This
right now is empty.
Yeah, it's going to be actually a little bit bigger than that one.
Is it? So this is going to be the good super duper one?
The main super duper one.
And that's the middle one?
That's the middle one.
That's pretty good for a middle one.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's go over the prepackaged one. And this one, I want you to kind of explain the good points and the bad points about it, because you hear all this stuff about don't buy the prepackaged or go ahead and buy the prepackaged. So I want your thoughts on it as you go through it.
I think personally, if this is the way you're going to start, there's nothing wrong with buying a prepackaged kit. But I would caveat that with I would add to it. So I would open it up.
And you're going to add a few things to that too, right?
Yes. Because when you buy these kits, I think this one was like $29, which isn't horrible, but they say get this 301 piece first aid kit for $29 or $14, I don't know, something like that.
So I guess kind of review that as you're going through it, and then.
So this is a really nice kit as well. I mean, it's got lots of pockets. I mean, tons of pockets that you can add.
It's a cool case, yeah.
Yeah, the case, and see, a lot of times the cases are the best part. Now this one didn't have anything in it. This one has a bunch of different Band-Aids. So here's a big portion of your 300 pieces that you're getting in a prepackaged kit. So here's 2,
good to have. 3,
4, 5 antiseptic wipes.
It's kind of like long-term food storage when they talk about servings.
Yes.
The servings don't matter. Anybody can say how many servings are in a thing. It's the size of the servings and the calories.
Right.
It's the content
right.
of the first aid kit itself.
But I mean, it's nice because they have lots of different bandages. So these are like butterfly bandages, so knuckle bandages. There's some small, little square ones. There's regular bandages. Of course, there's a lot of regular bandages, which, I mean, you kind of have to expect.
It's not a bad thing to have all that, but don't, just because it says it's got 3,000 pieces.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing.
It's got the 30 pieces you actually need.
These are the tweezers that are included in this kit.
Little plastic ones. We'll have to put a set of good tweezers in there.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a pair of tweezers, and if you had a bee sting or something, you had to pull a stinger out, it'd work. So, let's go over this one. This has gauze sponges, which is 4x4s. It's a fancy name for 4x4s. Has an emergency blanket in it. Looks like a pair of nitrile gloves.
And those are nitrile?
Yep, these are nitrile gloves. I'm not
The latex will be powdery, right?
Yeah, and it'll say their latex on it. Oh, this is a CPR airway. That's nice.
Cool.
So if you're trained in CPR, so here's your tape, and here's your scissors. So those are...
I think I got a pair like that in my sewing kit.
Yeah, and I mean they would work, but if you're going to be cutting a dressing off of somebody, you don't want to use something like that. You can, but you just got to be careful because you can cut them.
And when you're nervous and you're freaking out and everything, the last thing you want to do is be aggravated by a little tiny pair of scissors.
Yeah.
You want to be able to just get it done.
Yes. This is something
and the
that's...
patient would appreciate that too.
You think?
I think so.
Oh,
I would.
I've lost my empathy now.
If you were playing with those little scissors, I'd be ripping it off.
This is something that's nice that's in there. This is a triangle bandage. So if someone...
Sling?
Exactly. But if you don't have a triangle bandage, because they're kind of expensive to buy, use a bandana.
Mm-hmm.
You could get a bandana for 2 bandanas for 99 cents. Put that in your first aid kit.
That's what's cool about being a prepper. We learn all this different stuff that we can do.
Right?
Or should be.
Instant ice pack. Pretty nice. 2 3x3 gauze sponges. And 1 package of 4x4s, which there's 2 pieces in here, but once it's opened, it's not sterile anymore. So basically, anything in a package like this, it's one-time use.
So basically, when you give this away, it's going to be a lot more packed than it is right now.
Yeah.
You're going to go through it and go, oh my goodness this, oh my goodness that.
Yeah, because I mean, it is nice that they have these cute little bags of, it's 1 pair of nitro gloves, but you're going to have to replace those pretty frequently, which, that's okay. It's something, right? I mean, it's a good start. If you're on the side of the road and something happens, you got an emergency blanket, you got a little pair of scissors.
And we don't have it down here right now, but we do have the CPR mask that we're going to put in this big one, right?
Yeah.
Which is a little bit, what's the difference between that and the one that little tiny one? Because this one is the full.
That's the full rebreather mask, yeah, which is really nice and helpful. This is a kind of a generic one where it's probably got a little...
but it's better than sucking face with somebody?
Yeah, you don't want to suck face with someone. And I don't know if anyone has ever had to do CPR. And
I haven't.
It's putting your mouth on somebody else's mouth when they're dead or almost dead. That's not my favorite.
Somebody that you don't know, it would be a little tough. Just, even if you're the most compassionate person in the world, I still think it would be...
It's really hard. And they have stuff coming out of their mouth. They might have vomited.
Yeah.
They have drool coming out of their mouth, blood.
Okay, let's get over that part.
Okay. So this next pouch has a roll of cling gauze. It has a couple of ABD pads, which is good. ABD pads are always good. You can... For large amounts of bleeding or putting, if you want to put a compression dressing on, you can wrap a couple ABDs and then put some cling gauze, and then you can put an ACE wrap or Coban or a vet wrap, and you can wrap really tight. That's the one thing when you're doing a compression wrap, you put whatever it is on the owie, the cut, that's bad. So you put that on there, you apply some pressure, then you're going to wrap it with gauze. You don't put a lot of pressure when you're doing the gauze. It's the next layers that you really start putting the pressure.
So let's kind of wrap this up. We're going to have to dig through, we're going to have to do another video and dig through your first aid kit because we didn't even get to that. But maybe, and that'll be probably a longer one, we'll go through all the stuff in here. But anyway, these are the 3 kits that we're going to be giving away this week. Like I said, if you want to become a member, go to survivalistprepper.net/academy, become a member, and then you can be included in all the contests we do. We try to do one at least once a month, include members in that, and then also some other stuff for the the podcast listeners, the YouTube subscribers, and everything else. But if you're not a YouTube subscriber, go ahead and subscribe below. Check out the podcast and the website, and we'll talk to everybody later.
Goodbye.